I prefer Converse.
I prefer Vans.
The question we decided on was, do people prefer Converse to Vans at La Costa Canyon High School?
We tried to measure people's preferences by recording the percentage of people that prefer Converse in one class and in another class of Vans.
We then applied a two-sample proportion test. For our hypothesis, we needed a P1, which was Converse, and we also needed a P2, which was
Vans.
Okay, so for our no, which is the HO, we did P1 equals P2, which means that people prefer Converse the same amount as they prefer Vans. And then for original claim, which was H1, we did P1 is greater than P2, which means that people prefer Converse to Vans. Now we're going to flip this quarter. If it lands on heads, we're going to go into our art teachers, Miss Ralston and Mr. Lentz's classrooms. And if it lands on tails, we're going to go into our English teachers' classrooms, Miss Housen and Miss Dubell.
Here we go.
All I want to get is a little bit closer.
So it landed on heads, which means we're going to go into our art teachers, Mr. Lentz and Mrs. Ralston's class, and take data from 30 kids from each class. Our samples are random, and from the table you can see that the success and failure condition is met.
So now that we got the data from the two classes, we are going to apply the data to the two-portion test. There were two requirements that need to be met. Number one, the samples needed to be independent. And number two, the number of successes or failures was more than 5. We are now going to find if the null hypothesis is right or our original claim is right. So first, we have to find P bar, Q bar, P1 hat, and P2 hat.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings.
Now that we found P bar, Q bar, P1 hat, and P2 hat, we are going to find the test statistic by doing this formula.
Now we're going to do a right-tailed test, but first we have to find the z-score. Since the test statistic falls outside of the critical region to the right, that means that it has failed to reject the null. In conclusion, we don't have enough evidence to officially conclude that Converse is preferred to Vans at La Costa Canyon. And also, we don't support the original claim that people at La Costa Canyon prefer Converse to Vans.